It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Keefe. Thank you so much for joining us. Our top story, last week, Mike McKinstry was picking up 2 Telly Awards, as we told you about right here on Civic Center TV on the Splash Live. Over the weekend, a special moment for Mike and the Bassquatch Hunter Fish Out of Water, which qualifies for an even bigger award right here in the state of Michigan, since it airs locally, close to home, right here on Civic Center TV. Take a look.
Our next category is lifestyle, and the nominees are
The Clever Project, WDIV, click on Detroit.com. The Bassquatch Hunter, Fish Out of Water. Bassquatch Productions, LLC, Civic Center TV.
And the winner goes to Bassquatch Productions.
That's right, one of your favorite programs airing right here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM is now an Emmy Award-winning program. Huge congratulations to Mike McKinstry and his team at the Bassquatch Hunter for this huge accomplishment. In his recent appearance on the Splash Live, McKinstry told us now that the show has been a culmination of a lifelong dream of his and offered some words of encouragement for other people, whether they're looking to be content creators or pursue another dream, about how they can take those dreams and make them realities themselves.
The best advice I give everybody that wants to start out making content is do it for yourself. There's a famous music producer who made a very incredible statement in an interview a long time ago that I always swear by. Someone asked him how he knows how to make music for listeners. Like, how does he make music that's so popular? And he laughed and he said, I don't. He said, I make music for me and people just agree. And that's how I always tell people to follow their path, whatever it is. If you're trying to do something you're passionate about, do it for what you're passionate about and let other people follow. It'll all come. If you do it for attention, it won't be real or authentic. If you do it for money, it won't be successful. Do it for yourself. All the other stuff will follow as long as you're authentic. So do it for you, and people will agree with you. If you just put yourself out there, people will follow.
It's a great story behind the Bassquatch Hunter Fish Out of Water. It's one of those ideas that quite literally began on a napkin as he was out and about at one of our local eateries, thinking up an idea for something he could do to take his love of fishing and outdoorsmanship and to turn that into a TV show. He left his job, his 9-to-5, to pursue making the Bassquatch Hunter TV show a reality, and now it is an Emmy Award winner, a Telly Award winner. And you can see it right here on Civic Center TV and listen on 89.3 Lakes FM. McKinstry wrote on his Facebook page, quote, years ago I set out with a camera, a love for the outdoors, a passion for storytelling, and a mission to make people fall in love with nature the way that I did. And now, here we are, Emmy Award winning. You can learn more about the Bassquatch Hunter Fish Out of Water and congratulate them on the big Emmy win all across social media, Facebook, Instagram, and of course on YouTube at The Bassquatch Hunter. And of course, visit civiccentertv.com for local air times, where you can see the Bassquatch Hunter and their various episodes that have aired right here on Civic Center TV, all throughout our programming schedule as well. More history made earlier last week when the West Bloomfield Fire Department welcomed in a new member of the team that's in a league of its own. We sent Civic Center TV reporter Jake Schaff out in the field over to Fire Station 5, where he learned even more about a brand new apparatus that is making technology state-of-the-art in our local fire department.
It's pretty neat, just to have an opportunity to have such a new state-of-the-art piece of equipment like this really makes a difference in how we can do our job. I've been doing this for quite a long time, and I've never actually been stationed where we've had a brand new, aerial apparatus like this. So it's pretty neat, and I'm excited to actually get out and play with it a little bit.
I think it's important for us to get back to the community, show them what they support us with. This is a brand new piece of equipment, vital to what we do. We have a lot of new construction going on with 4- and 5-story apartment buildings, hotels, This provides us a lot of tactical advantages with 101 foot reach for firefighting operations.
We are very grateful to the West Bloomfield community, who has told us outright how important public safety is to them and provided the motivation to make sure that we give our firefighters the equipment that they need to do the job that we ask of them. And I think when you look at the side of that truck and you see the words kindness, professionalism, and knowledge, it embodies what our firefighters are to our community. We can give them the knowledge. We can expect professionalism. They come kind. We have a great combination, and I could not be more proud of our fire department, and I could not be more excited to provide this piece of equipment for them.
Well, this was certainly a long time in making, 2.5 years. We authorized the truck as the board, and it's really a huge insurance policy for our township to protect their safety. It really means a lot to the whole fire department to show how much support the board and the township and the residents support them.
And how do you see this fire truck making such a huge impact in the years to come?
Again, tactically for our department, it's vital to have that aerial support, one for rescue operations and for master stream operations. We got a lot of bigger buildings going up than we've ever had before. With the height of the buildings are reaching 5 stories. This gives us a lot of capabilities to give us support to the community when we need those firefighting operations.
We have been the only Oakway partner that hasn't had a tower truck for the last few years. So I used to ask, well, do we need one if our Oakway partners have one? But it was explained to me, when you get to the apron of a scene, you need to be there quickly. And at the point that it fills up and that truck comes from another community, you can't get up close to the fire. So understanding the physical importance of this piece of equipment and making sure that our fighters now have it in West Bloomfield, it's an exciting day.
More information can be found, as well as helpful tips from the West Bloomfield Fire Department, on their Facebook page, always available on Facebook at WB Fire Department. A really exciting day as they introduce this brand new truck into the West Bloomfield Fire Department, as Debbie Binder and so many others spoke about. The tactical advantage that this gives our local fire department, especially as we have new and quite extensive buildings going up in West Bloomfield Township and in the Tri-Cities now and in years to come. That truck can do a lot of things. It can get up pretty high, too, in those high rises. As we saw, Jake Schaff from our team was out at that event, got a chance to go up in the ladder. There he is with some members of the fire department, including Assistant Chief Mark Lowry, who joined us last week on the Splash Live. And here they are, going up in the air on this brand new truck. More images just like this and information on the new truck and other operations with the fire department, once again, on their Facebook page at WB Fire Department. A highly anticipated trip met a sudden cancellation over the weekend after a successful day out on Apple Island on Saturday, full of fun and tours with the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. Local residents received unfortunate news late Saturday night that their scheduled Sunday tours were no more. The Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society citing logistical issues as the reason behind the cancellation. Of course, like much of the Historical Society's events and initiatives all throughout the years, it is a volunteer and donation-driven affair. So when unavailability or equipment breakdowns or both may occur, sometimes the schedule breaks down with it. In this case, issues with a boat scheduled to help transport patrons to and from Apple Island was ultimately the culprit, leading to the cancellation, per the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society's Facebook page. They wrote on their page over the weekend, quote, "If you have purchased advance tickets as a Historical Society member and will not be able to attend the tours due to this cancellation, you will be refunded." At this time, no makeup dates are scheduled. We have been hearing that they may consider makeup dates either later on in the summer, possibly in the early portion of the fall. But at this time, nothing is official. Those discussions very preliminary, no guarantee that a second tour date will be happening anytime soon. For updates on this and to find more events all throughout the year, learning about our local history with the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society, Facebook.com/GWBHS, and of course, stay tuned right here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Close to home, West Bloomfield Girl Scouts spread kindness and a little bit of color as well. Troop 76057 from West Bloomfield Middle School has been hard at work creating a little food pantry throughout the spring, and now they've also planted what they are calling their Kindness Rocks garden. Visitors have a chance to enjoy a kind-hearted message from the kids and leave an inspiring message of their own in the garden to give back. The kids are also doing their part as well, serving as mentors for young Daisy Scouts to share messages of being positive and having fun with their little community. Small acts of kindness go a long way, although no act of kindness is small in and of itself. Great work, girls. Congratulations on the culmination of this great effort. You can share your messages of kindness and congratulate them on the Facebook page of the West Bloomfield School District, facebook.com/West Bloomfield Schools. Orchard Lake Road construction. Yes, more Orchard Lake Road construction is on its way and already underway as we speak. It could affect your daily commute, so you're going to want to learn more during this next segment with us. Now through Monday, June 23rd, sanitary sewer repairs will cause a closure of Orchard Lake Road on the way to 696 between 12 and 13 Mile roads in our neighboring Farmington Hills. Here to tell us more about the project and how it will affect our busy roadways is Craig Bryson from the Road Commission for Oakland County. Craig, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Glad to have you on. This is going to affect much of our local area, especially those that are commuting to and from work and other activities by way of the highway. Orchard Lake Road, a very common thoroughfare to get them to and from 696. Let us know a little bit about this project and how it may affect getting to and from that area of Farmington Hills.
So there's two things going on here. The most immediate is the Oakland County Water Resource Commissioner's Office is going to be closing Orchard Lake Road, as you mentioned, between 12 and 13 Mile roads to do some sewer repairs. That started this morning, and that will go until Monday the 23rd. Then the road will reopen, but on that same day, the Road Commission will start our major resurfacing project on Orchard Lake Road between 696 and 13 Mile. During our resurfacing, the road will remain open, but it'll be reduced to one lane in either direction, so there will certainly be some delays. Also, starting on the 23rd, the Water Resources Commissioner's Office will start the second phase of their project, which will be doing sewer repairs at the southeast corner of 13 Mile and Orchard Lake, and they will close eastbound 13 Mile at Orchard Lake from June 23rd until June 30th. So that's going on as well. And then, of course, the major Road Commission project will be going on until the fall.
And so it's really several weeks coming up where we're going to have that area of Orchard Lake Road be affected by these construction and other repair projects. You mentioned that during the Water Resources Commission's sanitary sewer repairs, it will be a full closure of Orchard Lake Road between 12 and 13 Miles. So none of that roadway open, detour is available. Is that correct?
Well, it'll be open up into the hard closure. The hard closure is between Bristol Lane and Park Hill, which is pretty much right in the middle between 12 and 13. So if you live in a subdivision or a home north or south of there, or going to a business north or south of there, you'll be able to do that. Access will remain open to all the businesses along there, but you will not be able to get through that hard closure.
And then during the Road Commission's work the week after that and throughout much of the rest of the summer and into the fall, as you mentioned, that will be a partial closure of Orchard Lake Road, reduced lane openings as you do your repaving project.
That's correct. There will still be two-way traffic open throughout the project, but there will be reduced lanes, as you mentioned, one lane in either direction. There will be a couple of brief weekend full closures as we get through the project, but we'll announce those as we get closer to those. Those will be further down the road, no pun intended, during the project.
So this is kind of separated from a project of a similar scope closer to home here in West Bloomfield, the stretch of Orchard Lake Road between Tam O'Shanter and Long Lake that's being repaved at this time. So for that particular stretch, why 12 and 13 Mile as another area for repaving at this time by the Road Commission?
Basically, it needs it. It's in need of resurfacing. We applied for and received federal funding. The federal funds are covering 80% of the cost of that project. We had actually delayed that project as a result of the work on I-96 in the last couple of years. So it needs to go now, or we risk losing those federal funds. So it needs to be done. Unfortunately, no easy way to get around the inconvenience, but it will be a benefit when it's done.
Yeah, and then that comes as kind of a double-edged sword, both for residents and commuters that are going to be driving through that stretch of Orchard Lake Road in the next several weeks and couple of months during these projects, but also for the Road Commission for Oakland County, as you mentioned, those funds starting to go away that would be used in this case to do such a major project in a highly trafficked area. But it is one of the most highly trafficked roadways in Oakland County, an estimate of about 36,550 vehicles per day on that stretch of Orchard Lake Road. How did that factor into why your team at the Road Commission is putting these funds into this project right now before they run out?
Yeah, it's definitely one of our top 5 busiest roads in the county, so it's a priority. Keeping that road in good condition is, of course, important. This has been on our radar for a number of years. Again, the federal funding is available for a limited window. If we don't use that federal funding, we will lose it. This is a $4.5 million project, 80% of that coming from federal funds. We don't want to risk losing those federal funds, or the project could be delayed indefinitely. So yes, absolutely a critical project for us, critical road for the community and the county in general. We need to get the work done.
Yeah, people typically think about the pains of these different projects and not necessarily what the other side of it's going to look like. There is going to be some pain, of course, during it. You close down a major thoroughfare between 2 additional major thoroughfares. There's going to be some buildup there, especially in one of the higher trafficked areas of Orchard Lake Road. So what is the Road Commission doing or suggesting during these projects to help that flow of traffic continue through our local area, get through that busy section without necessarily causing bottlenecks in other areas of our community?
Right. So during the most immediate situation, the Oakland County Water Resource Commission's work this week, the detour will be Farmington Road. So you can take 12 mile of Farmington Road to 13 mile and vice versa during the full closure. That's the immediate term. During our project, starting the 23rd, the road will remain open, so we're not offering a detour. If people are traveling through the area and don't have a destination in the area, they can, of course, take the parallel roads, Farmington or Middle Belt, to avoid some of the congestion. But again, we'll ensure that there is access to all of the homes and businesses throughout the construction area during the project. So there will certainly remain traffic on Orchard Lake Road during our portion of the project.
You're looking at during the course of this project, Park Hill and Burbank Streets are going to be kind of the areas where there's going to be those closures during the Water Resources Commission project. That's right up around the PNC Bank on Orchard Lake Road, a little bit south, my apologies, of the ABC warehouse for those that are referencing that. So if you're driving by those areas this week, you may want to find an alternative route and consider alternative routes for weeks going forward. Joining us from the Road Commission for Oakland County is their Senior Communications Manager, Craig Bryson, on the Splash Live today. rcocweb.org is the place to go for more information on projects now and upcoming in the Oakland County area if you want to keep up on that with your commute and follow along with these projects and their continued timelines as these projects are underway. Craig, can we expect any other big projects over the next couple of weeks, next few weeks, that may also affect drivers that are maybe driving in similar areas to this stretch of Orchard Lake Road in Oakland County?
No, not that we are doing. This is the biggest one in this general area this year. I might add also that during the Water Resource Commission's work this week, the city of Farmington Hills is strongly discouraging people from trying to cut through the subdivisions to avoid that closure. Use the detour route if you're traveling through the area. They will be increasing traffic enforcement for cut-through traffic. You don't want to get a ticket there. Additionally, they are closing Park Hill and Burbank Streets right at Orchard Lake and closing Greening Road to through traffic during this week-long water resources closure.
Yeah, those signs will be up there for detours. Definitely want to follow those. We know from major traffic on Orchard Lake Road in our community in past years, these local police departments, they really do put a big emphasis on protecting those roadways for those living in those neighborhoods. Oftentimes, drivers want to cut through to get around the traffic. They may not be as respectful to the speed limits in those neighborhoods. That's a lot more dangerous than taking those detours and following along the major roadways. Craig, appreciate your time and your insight on this as drivers already affected by it as we speak, as we head into this week. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tyler.
Appreciate it. RoadCom on Facebook is their social media for immediate updates in your pocket on your social media each and every day. Otherwise, as I mentioned earlier, rcocweb.org is their website, has all this information, updates on projects, upcoming projects that will affect your commute and your travels this summer as well. One more time, rcocweb.org. This weekend, the beloved West Bloomfield Trail will be connecting residents by more than just their favorite walkway. A 25-mile bike ride called Table to Table will connect the Michigan Airline Trail over in my neck of the woods in western Oakland County, the West Bloomfield Trail close to home, and the Clinton River Trail, with bookends supporting some of your favorite local restaurants, including the ultra-popular Sylvan Table right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Joining me for more information on the Table to Table bike ride is the trail manager of the Michigan Airline Trail, John Hensler. John, thank you so much for being with us today.
Morning. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you on. Table to Table, wildly popular last summer. It's a relatively new event here in Oakland County. Give us the details.
So the Table to Table, we're doing our 4th year now. It's a 25-mile round trip bike ride from Drafting Table Brewing Company in Wixom. You head east on the Michigan Airline Trail, on the West Bloomfield Trail, and then over to a little bit of the Clinton River Trail. And then when you're in Sylvan Lake, we turn around, we go to Sylvan Table for lunch, and then turn around and head back to Drafting Table. So it's a nice ride. It's a good length. It's 25 miles, so it's enough of a challenge for people that might be going out for usually 5-10 mile bike rides. But it's also a really fun event because, as you know, Sylvan Table is awesome and their food is great. And so they've set up a really nice little menu option for us and things like that. So they're a great partner.
It's a tough ticket to get to, so you get on your bike, you enjoy our beautiful trails all across Oakland County, connect with some of our neighboring communities, and you get into one of the most popular restaurants in all of Oakland County at the end of it, close to home here in Sylvan Lake. But John, this is 25 miles. It sounds daunting to someone that's not a biker that may be interested in something like this, but they look at 25 miles, maybe that's a little bit much for me. So how do you get everybody involved regardless of maybe their level of athleticism when it comes to the bike ride?
We've had some people who are intimidated a little bit by the 25-mile limit and extent of that ride. And so some people just ride to Sylvan Table and have somebody pick them up and take them back to where they started from. So, that's not most people don't do that. Most people take the ride because one of the nice things about the ride is, and I tell people who are maybe intimidated by the length, is that it's really 2 12.5-mile rides. So basically you ride out to Sylvan Table and then you got like an hour and a half if you want, just to kind of hang out, have lunch, look around that area a little bit, and then get on your bike and head back. So sometimes that's easier saying we break it up into two pieces there. But so I guess I would say though that if you're not a cyclist, then you might want to think twice about taking on the ride. But usually we haven't had too many complaints about the length. So.
And it's a beautiful ride, and so far, well, hopefully Mother Nature plays along with us. It's looking like it's going to be a pretty nice day out there, which is even more of a good reason to go get out on the Airline Trail, explore the West Bloomfield Trail, of course, that so many people in our community love, and the Clinton River Trail, just at the tail end of that, in the prettiest little city when you get over to Sylvan Table at the end of this. More information is on miairlinetrail.com, including a way for you to register for this event. Tickets are currently still on sale. John, going back 4 years to the beginning of this, what really sparked the idea of connecting 3 of our most beloved local trails together for a special event each summer?
Well, we wanted to host an event that was not just on the airline. The airline is only 7.5 miles complete on either side. So we wanted to get our other fellow trails involved so we came up with the table-to-table concept, getting 3 trails involved. In the fall, we have another event called the Hat Trick Ride, where we use the trail to the west of us, which is called the Huron Valley Trail. And the hat trick takes you to 3 breweries in an afternoon, and you can stop and hang out at each one and have a beer and some food, and then just head back. So we're trying to make sure that we can get other area trails involved and let people who might not know about this fantastic local network that Oakland County has. And it's not just Oakland County; it's actually all of Southeast Michigan. Southeast Michigan it's a hotbed for trails, and more trails keep getting added each year. Trails get renovated and improved, and we're all really excited to be at the forefront of that development.
And it's not just getting people together for a bike ride. It's not just connecting communities and introducing them to some of our small businesses along the way, John. This is also a great way for people to get out in nature in their community and explore that along a distinct ride that shows the connectivity between our natural areas in western Oakland County and eastern Oakland County all throughout. How does environmental stewardship play into the motivation behind hosting something like this?
Well, really, the main motivation is just getting people out in nature and enjoying a beautiful ride. One of the nicest things that people tell me about the West Bloomfield section of the trail is that it is so beautiful, and it's so natural. And our trail is paved. The West Bloomfield Trail is a crushed limestone surface. Great for anybody on a bike, so it doesn't affect anybody's ability to participate. But you do see more wildlife on the West Bloomfield Trail than you do on the airline. You see a lot of deer. I was just out on the trail in West Bloomfield last weekend, saw 3 deer, including a fawn who was just kind of standing right in the middle of the trail as I'm riding by. I'm like, okay, dude, yeah, move along, So, but the other thing that I would like to emphasize about our trail is that both the airline and the West Bloomfield Trail have lots of road connections, road crossings. And we are trying our best to modernize and make those road crossings as safe as possible. So we have about 8 of them on the airline trail. And what's new on the West Bloomfield Trail are these crossings with a hawk signal. A hawk signal stands for high intensity activated crosswalk. And a couple places where the trail crosses Orchard Lake Road, the roads are curvy. It's hard to see people crossing the trail. And so West Bloomfield installed these hawk signals. So now you push a button, lights flash, and they get a red light. So traffic has to stop for people making those crossings. And in fact, the West Bloomfield signals are sophisticated enough that they actually talk to you. They tell you push the button, it tells you to wait. And then it announces the name of the road and you cross. So we were so impressed with that little audio component that we retrofitted 2 of ours on the airline trail.
Wow.
Just to match. So we've all got that voice technology now. And that's the name of the game. We're trying to make the trail as safe as we can for users and motorists as well, too, to make sure that they understand, hey, there's a lot of these trails are popular. There's a lot of people that are going to be using them, and making sure that they use them in the safest way possible is a real touchstone for us.
John Hensler is with us on the Splash Live. He is the trail manager of the Michigan Airline Trail. Yes, it's a little bit west of us, but it's connected to our community this weekend as part of the Table to Table Ride, the 4th annual 25-mile bike ride, connecting us all the way from Wixom out to the prettiest little city in the state of Michigan over in Sylvan Lake. You can join in as we speak on their website, miairlinetrail.com. Visit them also on Facebook at MI Airline Trail for more information and to register for this event. John, we've seen over the years the excitement behind this grows, certainly the pack of people that join in on this now tradition in Oakland County. How excited have you been to see the growth of this over the years in not only the promotion of your local trail on the airline, but connecting our vast and really interesting trail networks here in Lower Oakland County?
Yeah, it's very exciting to see. You know, one of the things that you might not know about is that our trail, the Airline Trail, as well as the West Bloomfield Trail and the Clinton River Trail, are all part of the Great Lake to Lake Trail Route 1. Mm-hmm. So the Great Lake to Lake Trail is a trail that goes from one Great Lake to the other. You start in South Haven, and you can take trails all the way across the state, including our 3 trails, and then it ends up at Port Huron, and probably 75 or 80% of the route is completely done, and it's on trails exclusively. So it's great, and we've had lots of people who use that as their vacation. They start in South Haven. They take a week to cross the state, and so they're stopping in our area businesses. They're stopping to eat at our restaurants and drink at our bars and stay at our hotels. And it's a great economic booster for the state of Michigan, as well as folks who are into bicycle tourism and things like that. So it's a lot of people just use the trail to go on a mile to walk the dog or go get ice cream. But there's also a lot of people that use it as a regional destination now. So that's one of the newest things that we've been able to emphasize and celebrate are the people coming from 20, 30, 40, 50 miles away saying, oh, I heard about your trail. I read about it in Michigan Trails magazine, and I just wanted to come check it out. So it's nice.
Yeah, in an age where it seems to be so tough for people to meet new people with similar interests and find new friends and explore new places together, this is a great opportunity to do that. John, thank you so much for your time today, and hopefully we'll get a lot of people from Greater West Bloomfield joining you this Saturday on the trails.
Yeah, only 20 tickets left, so grab them when you can.
Yeah, they're going hot, and you got to get them now. miairlinetrail.com. You can also follow the Michigan Airline Trail and find ticket information for the 4th annual Table to Table bike ride. Facebook.com/miairlinetrail. And again, their website, miairlinetrail.com for registration. The event, Saturday, June 21st, begins about 10 a.m. The ride's going to go from Wixom out to Sylvan Lake, back to Wixom, and enjoy a couple of nice stops along the way, including close to home at the Sylvan Table. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. Plenty more to get to on the other side, including celebrating some beloved volunteers that are spreading the good cheer all across Greater West Bloomfield and beyond. Live, local, social, the Splash Live. We'll be right back on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
So much is happening in your community. Join Jake, Tyler, and Kevin for local events and developments on the Splash Live, weekdays at 10 a.m. on CivicCenterTV.com, YouTube, and Facebook.
I'm Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. I'm excited that Civic Center TV has reached 1 million views on YouTube. Congratulations. That's just terrific. We appreciate everything Civic Center does for the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and the community. For us, they promote and highlight our events. It's awesome to have them available 24/7 on YouTube. I'm Gina Gregory and proud to be one in a million.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy, and if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on CivicCenterTV.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at CivicCenterTV.com and click Schedule at the top of the screen. And now, back to the Splash, live.
Live, local, social, welcome back to the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Keefe, thanking you so much for being with us and for always following along across our social media. Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. You can find us pretty much everywhere else, Instagram, X, and of course on our YouTube page where you can subscribe for free at Civic Center TV. Greater West Bloomfield loves its volunteers, and the couple out of Walled Lake is among our community's most active givers of their time and their treasure. Patty Holland Soma and Tony Soma are beloved volunteers in the Walled Lake area, one of several areas that are directly connected to our community through our school districts and so many other organizations. And now you've also seen them volunteer close to home at events such as the Heroes Appreciation Breakfast. Now they are getting their due recognition as Volunteer Community Action Awardees as well, courtesy of the Oakland Livingston Human Service Agency. Patty, Tony, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to have you both on. Patty, I'll start with you. What inspired you and Tony to get involved with the Oakland Livingston Human Service Agency, otherwise known as OLHSA?
Well, Ulsa and I have been associated many years. It started when I started going to meetings, and then it just snowballed from there until I joined their board of directors. And my segment is I represent senior citizens. They do so much for so many people. It's an agency that serves, it's one of 27 community action agencies in the state of Michigan. There's over 1,000 throughout the country. And they began in 1964 with the poverty plan with then President Johnson with his war on poverty. And basically there are 80 programs that serve from cradle to grave. There are a lot of people in need, and we see positive results for what we do, and it just spurs us on to do more and do more.
And Patty, I'll continue with you. A big congratulations to both you and Tony on receiving this honor. We know that there are so many people in need in our community, and our volunteers in Greater West Bloomfield, all across these several communities that make up that moniker, they give their time because they know that there's a need there, and they want to help other people, including their neighbors right here in their community. So for you and for Tony, how did you feel when you learned that you were being honored by OLSA for your hundreds of hours of volunteer service?
Surprised. Surprised, shocked, humbled. There was no end goal in sight when we started volunteering. And we both sit on the board to this day. And it was a surprise. It was a delight. It was quite an honor. It's just such an honor. It's an honor to represent this agency that has such a group of dedicated employees that it's just an honor.
And Tony, I want to go to you too, because both of you have contributed so much of your time and energy into helping people through OLSA, and you've given over 200 volunteer hours throughout your time with this organization. What have been some of the projects for you that have been the most profound, that you've been involved in putting in those 200 plus volunteer hours?
Well, the big thing, besides being on the board, we team up with OLSA for their Walk for Warmth. That's a couple of their biggest fundraisers. They have it in Livingston County and in Oakland County. And what that does is provide funds for those individuals who cannot afford their heating during the winter. So those are the two big things that we do for OLSA. Besides being on the board, Patty's also chair of the Older Adult Action Committee, and I'm on that with her as well.
Yeah, a big part of that, as you mentioned, is fundraising. Events like the campaigns like the Walk for Warmth. You've helped to raise over $72,000. And that's no small feat for grassroots fundraising in any organization. So now, how have you been able to rally that kind of support from other like-minded people within your organization, but also others out in the community that maybe aren't as aware that there's this sort of need throughout our local area?
A lot of it through social media, but then also working with OLSA. We're on the committee for the Walk for Warmth for Oakland. So we just get the word out by any means possible.
And Patty, for you on this side, Tony mentioned the Walk for Warmth campaign. We know this is something that is very close to your heart as well. What drives your passion for this particular campaign in particular, in addition to all the other work that you do with the Oakland Livingston Human Service Agency?
I think that people don't realize that you may have a neighbor that is in need. Probably within 10 minutes of our house, there's someone that this winter may not be able to afford their heating bill, or for the water resource program, has a water heater that's going on the blink. But for Walk for Warmth, you need to keep people warm in a Michigan winter. You can't have a gas stove running. You're endangering your life. So basically, it's these funds are being raised and they're targeted just to keep the citizens' heat on.
And it's important work that's being done. It's an important initiative within all the work that's being done through the Oakland Livingston Human Service Agency, otherwise known as OLSA. Two of their most prolific volunteers are with us on the Splash Live today, Patty Holland-Soma and Tony Soma, who were the recipients of their Volunteer Community Action Award for 2025 for over 200 hours of volunteer service, raising tens of thousands of dollars for their projects as well, and continuing to be very passionate members of the volunteer community here in Greater West Bloomfield. Going forward, Patty, I'll start with you. What are some of the upcoming projects or goals that you hope the community can be made aware of that you're working on and they can also contribute to in the near future to help their neighbors?
Okay, I just want to point out we were one of 5 volunteer winners at the luncheon in Lansing. And there were some consumer winners as well, and those were very heartstring pulling stories of people that have overcome outstanding odds to come out on the other side. Basically, there is a golf tournament coming up in September. We're gearing up for Walk for Warmth 2026, which is in early spring next year. And basically just keep flyers going, keep social media going. The Older Adult Advisory Council has a Facebook page where we post things for our audience. If you know someone in need, have them get a hold of the agency or another agency. But if you're in need, make a call. There are people out there who will help.
And Tony, I want to go to you too before we let the both of you go today. I want to thank you both for your time once again. But Tony, for those that may be looking to get involved and they want to help out in the community, they want to volunteer. I know that what tends to be a bit of a blockage for them at the onset is they don't know how to get started, how to take those first steps. What's your advice for people that want to take a leap into volunteerism in their community?
If they want to get involved with OSA like we are, and it's a great organization. They have over 80 committees that are helping people from children to grandparents. I wish I had the phone number right in front of me. I'm sorry that I don't, but they can easily look that up and give them a call and just let them know where can I help? There's so many different parts of their organizations where they need help. So it's a simple phone call could really get them on the right track.
More information about the organization can be found. Just search Oakland Livingston Human Service Agency for even more. 2 of their most prolific volunteers that were just awarded along with 4 other winners from throughout our community for their work with OLSA. Join us on The Splash today. Patty Holland-Soma and Tony Soma with us on The Splash Live. Thank you both for your time and congratulations once again.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you both. Always looking forward to celebrating our volunteers in the Greater West Bloomfield area. We think about recently some of the big celebrations we've had for our volunteer community, including the Michigan Week Community Awards Breakfast that celebrates not only people in Greater West Bloomfield proper, but volunteers connected to our community in areas like Walled Lake and in Bloomfield Hills and in Commerce and Waterford and so on, that all come together to support a community of volunteers here in the Oakland County area and especially around the lakes here in Greater West Bloomfield and beyond. Congratulations to them and a big thank you to them for all the work that they are doing right here close to home in our community. Close to home here, coming up this weekend, more fun in West Bloomfield Township will be had out in the heart of the lakes. It all kicks off on Friday night. The Keego Harbor block parties are back with even more fun at the end of each and every one of our summer months with activities for the entire family. Civic Center TV's Jake Schaff had a chance to get a preview of the 2025 block parties with Kirsten Sonneville Douglas from Keego Harbor Parks and Rec. Here's their...
Kirsten, good morning.
Good morning, Jake. Thanks for having me.
Of course, really excited to be getting into this. I love the block parties. I know everybody else in the community does as well. And I'm curious, how have the Keego community's block parties evolved since their initial inception, and what local traditions would you say have emerged from them?
So the Keego Block Party is kind of an evolving event. We started it a long time ago when and it was actually before let me start again. It's evolved. The Parks and Rec started it, and it was a transition from an organization who did skate night, and we wanted to make it more of a community event. And so we kicked it off with one, just trying to activate our park, bring some live music into the park, which was one of my goals. And it was really well. And then everyone was going, so we're going to do this like every weekend, right? And we're like, tap the brakes. That's not really doable. But it was something that we could say, hey, we could do it probably once a month for the summer. And so the Block Party series then evolved from that. And it's just wonderful to see our community come out, just connect, to have fun with listening to live music, having some snacks or dinner with some friends, playing some of the games, right? We've got Connect 4. We also have the golf ladder game and a couple of other ones, some big Jenga. And then we have local artisans and crafters that come out there too. So it's just wonderful to see the community just come together.
That's absolutely right. I think you made the right call with once a month, because that makes it so much more special and so much more important for everyone in the community to get involved. And Kirsten, what impact have you seen these events have on neighborhood engagement and residents feeling more connected?
I love that we can meet with new neighbors, right? And meet, I've got a young son. And so all of a sudden it's like, oh, I didn't know there was another kid his age. And so then just connecting that way, also getting others to volunteer. None of this happens without volunteers. And so getting other people that come to the events, and they'll be like, well, I'd love to volunteer. How can I contribute to my community? And that's actually what got me going into Parks and Rec. It started off when we moved to Keego Harbor, coming to the holiday event as well as the egg hunt. And I was like, this is amazing. And having a young son at the time going, I have an event background. How can I lend those skill sets to my community? And the rest is history.
Wow, great start for all of these events, and everyone has so much to look forward to with this year's lineup for the Keego Block Parties. A great food truck every month and a great band every month. I'm curious, how do you choose the artists and the food trucks that are featured at this event, and what roles would you say local businesses play?
Great question. So the bands, a lot of them are bands that reach out to us. Sometimes it's just me going and looking at local venues, like B1 has live music, Geno's has live music. And so tapping into some of those, we have some local entities, people that reside here in Keego Harbor. And so last year we used the Dudes. So we try not to do the same one every year. So like trying to cycle them through. So we've invited the Dudes for next year. Speaking of the food trucks then, just that's for me reaching out. You hear people mention that, hey, there was a food truck rally. This one was fantastic. And so then reaching out to them, they book out fast. So we start planning this event almost a year in advance to make sure that we have enough food trucks. We only have one food truck. The event isn't large enough to be able to manage 2 food trucks. We want to make sure it's business, or it's good business for the food trucks as well. So come hungry, come support them, so that we can continue that tradition.
That doesn't surprise me that the food trucks get booked very, very quickly, because summer's obviously very busy season. It's prime food truck season. They're going to be busy and they're going to be all over the place. But I love hearing these stories about these connections that come from the Kigo block parties, as you mentioned earlier. And these have been going on for a few years now. Do you have like a memorable story of a child or a family whose experience at the block party has stood out to you?
I love the kids, right? I mean, I have a kiddo, and I love watching them dance to the music. I love watching them, color with the chalk on the sidewalk. And so then we get to see that when we're walking by the next week, if Mother Nature is kind to us, and to see the colors. So that just lasts there for at least a whole nother week of just seeing our community gathering and stuff. We have a fall one. It's not part of the Kigo Harbor Block Party series, but it was the first kickoff of our fall event, and to see a youth band play. And so the kids got so excited to see, oh my gosh, they're little kids, and they're not little kids, they're youth performing, but that's more tangible for them. And it was so amazing to see them just be enthralled with that music.
I'd imagine so. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Kirsten Sonneville-Douglas from Kigo Harbor Parks and Recreation, talking about the Kigo Harbor block parties that are making their way back to the community for the summer season. The first one's set to take place on June 20th. Now, Kirsten, in what ways do you hope the block party events help young artists and entrepreneurs grow within Kigo Harbor, especially with something like Art Sale?
Right, so they can come walk around. Every year we have more artists and more crafters coming and participating. So it'd be amazing if, we have a little young entrepreneur that wants to join it. They can reach out to Art Sale on Facebook. We would love to have them. We had a couple of them actually at the fall event that I was talking about specifically. So everyone is welcome. Everyone, we hope, would continue to participate. And so we encourage them to reach out.
Awesome. Always love to hear it. Now, with the events like these, especially ones that have stood the test of time and have become such fixtures in the Greater West Bloomfield community, how does the Parks and Recreation Department measure the success for these kinds of community events?
We measure it mostly by attendance, but also how engaged are our community members, right? Every year, the block party, there are more attendees. And so for us, that's successful. It takes a good 5 years for an event to kind of be solidified. And so we're not there yet. We're almost there. And so every event we see more and more. The struggle is it's an outdoor event. And so Mother Nature, if there is a chance of rain, we will see a drop in attendance, but that's not any fault of the actual event. And so we kind of take that in stride, but every event we've seen more attendees. And so for us, that's a success.
Well, I think this event is going to be sticking around for a very, very long time. It truly is a staple of the Kigo Harbor community. And I got one more question before we wrap things up, Kirsten. What community feedback have you received that helps shape the planning for future block parties? And how can West Bloomfield area neighbors get involved?
Just volunteering, but the community feedback has been really positive. People really enjoy it. The problem is the event, people want it longer, but it's outdoors. And so for us, we have to take, the feedback and then apply it to it. If we have that event go until 9:30, it's dark, especially in the September event. The July event, different, right? So we wanted to try to make this event something that was scheduled, and so that it is something that everyone knows. It'll always be the third Friday of June, July, and August. So you put it on your calendar, and then we don't have to think about that the date itself, okay? And we'll promote that with the date, but that it is something that every community member can know. The block parties are the third Friday of June, July, and August. Also, it doesn't overlap usually with any of the other community events that are happening in the Greater West Bloomfield area. A lot of those happen on weekends, or if it's a school-related event, those will have happened prior. So we're trying to be mindful, because we're all very involved in our communities, that we're not overlapping or competing with other events.
Important dates for everybody to remember. The first Kigo Block Party taking place on June 20th. Hope to see everybody out there. Kirsten, thank you so much for joining us today here in the Splash Live.
Thank you for having us, and thank you for your support always.
You can find more on Keagle Harbor Parks and Rec Fun all summer long. Follow them on Facebook at KH Parks or visit KeagleHarbor.org. Close to home here in Greater West Bloomfield, our parks not only helping us have some summer fun, but keep our community healthy all across our various age groups. I had a chance to talk about that with Parks Executive Director from West Bloomfield Parks, Kelly Heyer, at the most recent Greater West Bloomfield Health and Wellness Fair. Here's our conversation. Now, if you want to get out and about for even more fun outside of Town Hall on this Wednesday afternoon when we're doing this live, best place to go is West Bloomfield Parks on WBparks.com or all their events throughout the community. Their Executive Director, Kelly Heyer, is with us now at West Bloomfield Town Hall. Kelly, exciting times. We get into summer for West Bloomfield Parks. Really busy time for you team.
That's right. Although there is no bad time to be in a park, even in the winter time, but this is the time where we see most of our visitors, and it's easy for people to get outside.
And it's, weather got a little bit in the way at the beginning of the summer with opening Lily Pad Springs, but I'm driving by now and I'm seeing people there all throughout the week having a really good time with the family.
That's right. Lily Pad Springs is open daily, and depending if Mother Nature cooperates, but we run through Labor Day weekends. So Labor Day is our last day. So check our calendar. We have different specialty days. So our Mondays, we have some sensory Mondays scheduled at the beginning of the day, and then we have our Twilight Tuesdays open for an extra session.
And all that information is on WBparks.com, including registration, info on their special events at Lily Pad Springs, but also all throughout the park system, too. Your concert series is back, both Kids Commotion and the Marshbank Music Series. That always gets a lot of people from both West Bloomfield and neighboring communities. What do you think is special about that particular environment at Marshbank?
I would say the concert hill, the way that the earth is shaped, it's just a natural way for you to enjoy watching live music. And then also, typically, the weather just really comes through for us in the summertime. And it's intentional time where you can come out with your families and have a very low key and make it what you want. So our Kids Commotion, there is inflatables. There's some characters that we have in special costumes. So we've got those added elements. And then Marshbank Music, when that kicks off on a couple more weeks, that is a time where you can truly chill back. You can get some dinner from a food truck, but make it your time. And everyone deserves time outside. And what is more fun than time outside combined with live music?
And you got events like that all throughout the summer at WBparks.org for registration for the calendar. You got special things happening at all your facilities, including at the Recreation Activity Center, which, if you want to get that classic Recreation Activity Center experience, now's the time to do so, because coming up very soon, that's going to be a way different experience right next door to us at Town Hall.
That's right. Thanks to the West Bloomfield voters, they passed a bond for us to completely reimagine that space. And so in the fall of August of 27 will be complete, and that will be with a gymnasium, elevated track, a new nature wing with expanded nature experience, and then of course some multi-purpose areas. So check out, we also have that online with major updates, and also if you check out West Bloomfield Today, that issue that just went to print, that has some great information on it.
You have an opportunity today to interface with people in the community like you do every single day. That's just what West Bloomfield Parks does. But then they get to interact, too, with these businesses and see a little bit about what they do. How does that help our park system to have that opportunity?
Well, if you look at strong communities, you've got strong schools, strong township services, strong parks, and strong chambers. So the chamber really is another anchor of our community, making sure that our businesses can thrive here and that our residents have easy access to those services. And we have so many opportunities for our business to interact with us. In fact, our marketing manager, she interacts with over 60 businesses a year to really enhance, and they add things to our events as well as provide financial support to some events. So it really is a win-win. So if you're doing business in West Bloomfield, hopefully we've connected with you in some way, because we want to make sure you're connecting to our residents, because it's easy for us to do on a daily, and we just want to make it easier for our businesses too.
If you want to learn more, wbparks.org. Stop by Town Hall today. And of course, we're always helping our friends at West Bloomfield Parks get the word out about fun new events on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Kelly, before we let you go, anything else you want the community to know about West Bloomfield Parks as we head into the thick of the summer season?
Well, we've got something for everyone. So if you want something that is, you need to be instructor-led or facilitated, we've got that. But also, if you want just some passive recreation, be on a trail, be in nature, we have over 13 miles of trail right here at Civic Center, behind the library. You could go out to Arrowhead, pick the preserve, pick the trail there, at Marshbank, at Drake. We've got so many options. Truly, check it out. We've got something for everyone.
If you want a great place to take a picture, get that viral Instagram post, Storybook Trail's got a giant new chair out there that kicks off the Storybook Trail for people between the library and West Bloomfield Parks. A great partnership between them as well, all throughout the summer for the kids and their summer reading. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us.
And thanks, you guys. Civic Center TV is the best.
More information on West Bloomfield Parks events can be found on wbparks.org. Of course, the 2025 Health and Wellness Fair has come and passed, but all of that day's events are on our website on civiccentertv.com, including interviews with many of those vendors, a lot of really good health and wellness information for you on demand on your own time, civiccentertv.com. That's our show. I want to remind you that television that's close to home is always right there on civiccentertv.com and across our social media. Big thank you to our entire crew, Calvin Brown at Master Control, along with Jake Schaff and Kevin McIntosh, both here at the studio and all throughout our community. I want to give a big thank you to you also for joining in live, local, social. This has been the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.